Hey everybody, how's it going? So, another quick tip tonight. Sorry it's been a little while since the last video. Hope everyone's doing well and staying healthy and getting through this darn thing we're in. Um, yeah, it's been a thing. So, I was messing around with so I've got a laser out in the shed quarters, just one of those little K40 lasers, and I needed to add a new air assist, or I wanted to add a new air assist nozzle, and so this is the nozzle I went with. So obviously this is upside down in relationship to how it fits on the laser, but so it prints flat. You've got a hollow tube coming up to basically direct air out this little tiny hole. And then these two holes here are to fit a laser pointer if you want. And so, but I was having a heck of a time getting, as this thing got up towards the top, getting this basically the last maybe 25-33% or so to print well. And it was getting all mashed together and melted and nasty, ugly, deformed. And this feature ultimately just wasn't even forming. It was just, and so I did the typical stuff when you go into your slicing template, and I played with cooling settings by changing my minimum print layer time, slowing things down, adjusting my temperature control. I mean, I know the filament that I printed with, because I print with it all the time, prints flawlessly typically at 200. But when you get into these little tiny features, and there's really not much else around it, right? So your individual layer time is significantly reduced or restricted because of it. So you can see this is not even an hour-long print. And again, right, I print pretty conservatively from a speed perspective, so I could probably speed things up. But if we look at this from a preview, just by itself, again, right, nothing too simple or too crazy here, right? This is a simple little thing. It's 10% infill. It's a couple walls. But as you get up towards the top, you can tell right about up in here is where you just start losing some definition and some detail on the print, because things just start melting. And if we change from our structure view here to our speed view, you can see even that the slicer's trying to slow down. So you can see this greenish blue here. We match it up. It's printing in the 40-50 speed range, and then as it comes up the cone here, the actual air nozzle portion of it, it's slowing down to 20 and maybe speeding up just a hair, and then slows back down again down to like something like 10, right? It's going to slow down to 10ish. And even that was too fast. I had my fan full on, everything was working. I tried changing my my nozzle temp down to something closer to like 190, 195, and then you end up just getting under extrusion and the feature again just being not formed. So I probably printed this thing 2 or 3 times and no, at least 3 times, and just beating my head against the slicer a little bit. And it's not the slicer's fault. It's me trying to deal with small features. So if you've got a situation like this and you got to deal with some small features, here's a way to cheat. I got no problem showing you folks how to cheat a little bit. So we need to artificially increase our layer time. Now again, this takes a little bit more time to print, but your result is a higher quality product that you can actually use, and that's something that's all deformed and crusty and that you're just going to throw in the trash. So what you do is you go to File and you go to Examples, or here's what I did: Calibration, 20mm calibration box. And so it throws in your little box here, which you would normally use to test out your printer, print it out, and it's supposed to be 20-20-20, and you measure it. I know that this model is 50-ish, 50.7 millimeters tall, so I'm going to make this box the same height. Actually, maybe just a hair bigger. 50.8. Just so I get an extra one in there. So now I've got this thing that is, the same height, if not a little bit higher. And so what's going to happen is once it does this layer, it's going to come over here and do a layer. It's going to do a loop around this guy. And the bigger your artifact is over here, the cooler this is getting, right? So you have better odds now of this small feature up here forming well, because you're taking heat away from it and moving it over to your artifact. You don't give a crap what this thing looks like, right? It could look like a melted brick by the time you're done. Who cares? It needs to be doing its job, which is basically heat sinking and pulling heat away from your part, giving it time to cool. So again, right? So your slice times are going to go up. Obviously, your print time is going to go up. So we're going from 52 minutes or 50 minutes to an hour and 30, and you could probably tweak this a little more to get it down a little bit. But again, I'd rather spend the hour and a half and do it right once than spend 3-4 hours printing ones that I'm throwing in the trash just to troubleshoot a little bit more. So here's the result of this a little bit. Again, this is showing a top. It doesn't really matter. You don't care how this guy looks. Nothing's changed about my main print. Now if we switch over to the speed, again, so we're getting the same speed control here. But this 20-ish, maybe 20-30 millimeters per second is being spanned across this entire layer, not just this little piece of the puzzle here. And so I did this. I know it, and I can't show you, but it's on because it's on my laser where it should be. But this solved that problem for me. I didn't have that the thing was completely formed. The feature up here was completely usable. Maybe at the very, very tippy top here with this last layer, it maybe got a little ugly, but no one's going to see that but me. At the end of the day, this was fit, form, and function. It wasn't trying to win a beauty contest. So anyway, there you go. I hope this is helpful. Throw in that artifact if you've got some little small features like this that are giving you really a hard time. And yeah, there you go. So thanks again. We'll see you soon. I've got a project video coming up here, hopefully by the end of this weekend. This is December 22nd, so happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever you're celebrating. Happy to you. I hope you're all doing well, and talk to you soon.